Hello, welcome to my clinical room. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about building confidence in our children. And I'd like to think a little bit about how we all need our friends and family to cheer us on sometimes, and kids need that even more than us adults. Giving our kids specific, considerately observed feedback when they do well, and celebrating them when they try new things builds their confidence to make good choices and take really healthy risks more often. For example, it might be attending a new dance or sports class, or opening up and sharing their feelings with their family members. Each time we experiment with a new action and receive genuine positive feedback, it adds to our brain's library of positive associations with these actions, convincing us more with every effort that this is the sort of person we want to be. This is true for kids and adults, and as we learn to effectively cheer our kids on, we also grow our libraries of positive associations and become more skilled at our job yet again. An example of how us skillful parents and skillful children develop in concert with one another. You better believe the opposite is also true. When we discourage, when we put our kids down, or when we criticise them, they lose confidence and become ever less likely to make generative and brave choices. And it just makes them sad. So on that note, let's share a word on feedback. What we want to do as parents is catch any moments of unconstructive feedback and just acknowledge that it is a normal part of life for us, for all of us, both kids and adults, to feel resentful and jealous and inadequate, even abandoned and let down and left out at times. And when we experience these strong feelings of hurt and disappointment, we can be tempted to criticize. But this only leads to more upset. And what we want to do is help our kids to widen their window of tolerance from refraining from criticizing their opinions while maintaining their own. So, a window of tolerance is that ability to think and feel at the same time. And our little people are born with a relatively small window of tolerance. But what we want to do in our parenting is to expand that window of tolerance for them. And so we're going to think a little bit now about, I guess, just that idea of, for yourself, has someone ever given you some feedback which was actually just thinly veiled criticism? And have you ever dished out some of this at someone else? When we're feeling emotionally dysregulated or upset, it's so tempting to try to externalize that discomfort and control our environment by criticizing or dishing out some feedback to the people who are closest to us. We're often the meanest to those we love the most. I strongly encourage you, when you feel the urge to give your child some feedback, to stop and ask yourself whether you're about to offer comments from a place of wanting to understand and assist them to make good choices, or whether it's coming from a place of discomfort and an urge to criticize. If it is coming from this place of discomfort or wanting to criticize, just stop and take a breath. Remember that stepping away and tending to your well-being for a minute is a perfectly legitimate parenting choice. So unconstructive feedback and criticism sounds like conversations that start with should, never, and always. Conversations that start with describing your child's behaviour in absolutes. You always, you never, you are. Why can't you ever? And qualified praise. Yes, but. That was great. But why can't you always do that? When put downs and acknowledgement are combined in the same breath, all your child hears is the negative. Constructive feedback, though, is a way of describing the problem or what you see in a way that separates the behaviour from the child. The message we're giving is, it's not you that I don't like, it's your behaviour that's not okay. And this sort of feedback makes it easier for kids to hear what the problem is and to find a way to solve it. Great constructive feedback should galvanise your connection with your child and leave you feeling like you're both on the same team, working together to solve a problem. For example, saying, dirty clothes, live in the dirty clothes basket, both describes what you see and gives kids relevant information so they can solve the problem. And when they act on this information, they experience a sense of confidence in themselves and they come to understand that they're being trusted to make good choices. And this is a foundation we need for them in adolescence. This approach gives kids information to encourage their problem solving, but still protects their confidence and self-esteem. This is a message that conveys you are capable and loved. And that message is so crucial in helping kids feel valued. And real constructive feedback never undermines that message. Our kids need to know that we believe in them and their abilities. And in times of conflict, we trust that they will make sensible choices. This kind of communication goes both ways. We need to give our kids constructive feedback in order to receive it. So, for example, in saying to an upset child, tell me what you want. What are you trying to tell me? Or another way you could say this is, tell me more quietly so I can understand what you're saying. And what this does is that it opens the lines of communication. But it is really crucial that we do this when our kids are still in that window of tolerance, still able to find their wise mind. Because when they're not in a window of tolerance, it all collapses for them, that thinking part of their brain, and all they're doing is flying around in an anxious place or in a low mood pace. So when kids are given the chance to express their feelings, their needs, their thoughts, their ideas in a helpful way, it builds their sense of trust and agency. So in moments where your child is sharing with you, we want to actively listen. And once your child is clear about what they're sharing or asking of you, you can respond by telling them simply and clearly what actions you will take and the reasons why. So you might say to a child, I'm hearing you don't want me to keep asking you to eat because you're full, is that right? Or saying, you're frustrated because you feel like I don't play with you enough at the moment. Is that right? Yeah. And then what we're going to tell our child is our actions, what we're going to take. Thanks for telling me that you're full. Just the heads up that once you leave the table, the kitchen's closed for the night. Or, I'm so sorry you're not getting enough playtime with me. I'm busy right now, but let's make time to play for half an hour after dinner. What would you like to play? When issues are non-negotiable, take time out to calm down and talk again when everybody's big feelings have settled, because then we're all in our window of tolerance. Demonstrating our aptitude for problem solving and response to constructive feedback teaches kids that they can communicate effectively with us and be heard, and it gives them the tools that will enable them to be active participants in solving the problems that confront them. These are absolutely essential life skills that will only become increasingly relevant the older they get. So the sooner they start to practice them, the better. So constructive comments sound like, what can we do to solve this problem? I can see or I can hear that you're feeling angry. Tell me again using your inside voice. I trust that you two can work this problem out if children are fighting or arguing, but we need to stay close. Sit here and talk about it. I know you're both capable of sorting this problem out. I trust you two can get along much better than you are right now. What can we do to make this day more fun for all of us? Building confidence in our kids can feel hard, but when you catch any unconstructive feedback and work on only giving constructive comments, you are well on the path to success. Enjoy.